It's my pleasure to welcome you to the April video. Today's video will focus on the COVID-19 situation across the world and in particular the impact it is having on Essington. As we look ahead for the next 2 weeks, we have holidays for students coming up in 2 weeks' time, and it's important for us to talk and to assure you of what is occurring within the school and how we are going about assisting your children. In my 40 plus years of education, I have not faced a situation which is at such an unknown level with such uncertainty before. However, I do want to reassure parents that we are seeking the advice of the authorities. We have got health professionals assisting the school. We have got the government advice. We have got advice from the independent school sector, and I am in touch with my fellow principals who are interstate, who have got severe cases in their school and whose schools have changed the way they're operating as we speak. I want to reassure you, the community, that we are doing everything possible to ensure that we continue our education and we continue to help your students, your children, with that educational journey. Today we're moving towards answering questions from you, the parents, from staff and from students. I walked around the school today and visited 7 or 8 classrooms, and I was encouraged by their openness and willingness to discuss the COVID-19 situation. We will bring you some of those questions today and some of the responses. The word pandemic says it all, that we must take this very seriously, and we are doing that. It is a situation that we must continually check with authorities as to how we go about the best strategies to protect our students. There have been a number of things we've done and are doing. So we're proactively intensifying our cleaning. So rather than having cleaners come in at the end of the day, we have them here on a daily basis right from the beginning of school. They are scrubbing bathrooms, they are checking and cleaning door handles, and they are cleaning areas where students frequent. So that is one of the things we're doing. We're also encouraging students to wash their hands on a regular basis, and students will be sent to the bathroom to do that. We have in classrooms cleaning agents in classrooms that students can use. We are continuing our staggered recess time, so not all students across the school are out at recess or lunchtime at the same time. We're minimising our crowds. We've cancelled assemblies. We've cancelled big gatherings of students together. We've cancelled any activities outside the school that don't relate directly to the curriculum. So all our camps activities are cancelled. All our trips, all our sporting activities outside the school have been cancelled. There are many, many activities that impact on the students as a result of that. But we're doing that to minimise the contact that students will have with others outside our community. So we're keeping things in school. We're continuing our classroom-based activities, and we're continuing to do those on the basis of protecting and helping contain the virus for the safety and well-being of your children. The question around school closure should be reframed, because we don't want to use that language. I believe the school should be running and open, but business is not as usual. So we'll transition to another way of student learning. The school will remain open. However, students may not be attending. So we'll transition from learning in the classroom to learning online. And we're making that transition as we speak. Staff are preparing for that. But our current advice is, from all the relevant authorities, especially across the Northern Territory, that we do not change what we're doing. We encourage families to send their children to school, and we are offering lessons at school as normal. So please follow the advice of the authorities, and we will continue to operate as is until such time as we're told otherwise. So we're preparing for online learning. We have staff undertaking professional development to ensure they're equipped to be able to deliver lessons that students can work from home and do under the supervision of their parents or guardians. We have an ICT team who are doing a wonderful job in terms of ensuring that our software is updated, our bandwidth is sufficient, and our computers are up to date to enable online learning for students. We are setting up Office 365 that enables us to create teams amongst staff so they can collaborate and talk about the programs they're delivering, and student teams with teachers can be set up so that online learning continues. Our heads of schools are working with teachers very well, and we will allow time for that professional development to be in place prior to any online learning decision that is made. Well, every day that changes, and we're aware that as the number of cases across the world escalate, we must continue to be very vigilant in managing the risks to your child. That means that we continually enforce effective measures such as good hand hygiene, making sure that students are not hugging or touching each other unnecessarily. We want to also ensure that students are well aware of the government guidelines. We want to minimise these risks as much as we can. We also know the repercussions of collective societal fear, and we are working with students to ensure that they have the facts around this virus. While they're attending school, there's a degree of normal activities which we are encouraging you, the parents, to continue with. If we deprive them of this normalcy, then there can be some adverse effects. So there is a risk in attending school, but we believe the risk is minimised from the strategies we are using and the guidelines we are following. The question around confirmed case at Essington is a really good one, because we have a plan in place that will enable us to act on that once and if this occurs. The first and most important is that you, the parents, are notified, and we will make that notification as soon as we have confirmation. The second is that we do a major risk assessment. Who has that person been in contact with? How much likelihood is there of others being infected? And we will take a thorough clean of all the areas that this person may have been in. There'll be disinfectant. It'll be a scrub from tip to toe of the whole school where this person has been. And we will make sure that that area of the school is shut down while this is occurring. We will work with the relevant authorities to ensure that what we do is best practice, and we may have to cancel classes immediately for that section or for that area. Our aim is to ensure that no transmission has taken place, and we will be informing parents of this. So information will come to you immediately. If you don't hear it from us, it hasn't occurred. Our assumption is that if a child is being kept at home, there is good reason for that. They may be unwell, or a member of the family may be unwell. We don't encourage parents to keep children at home because of fear or anxiety around the COVID-19 virus. If your child is susceptible to immune deficiency disorders of any kind, please seek medical advice and act on that medical advice. This is critical to the success of what we do at Essington. First of all, our advice to staff is do not come to school if you're unwell. And that is any fever, any type of flu feelings, we advise staff to stay home, and we advise them to go and see a medical practitioner to get the all clear before they come back to school. We want students to follow the same protocol, so you, the parents, must support your children in that procedure. If a parent is unwell and hasn't been checked out but has the symptoms of the COVID-19, we ask that you keep your child at home until the parent or the household is given the all clear with regard to that. Our efforts to implement social distancing in school includes minimising all small gatherings, the cancellation of all large-scale gatherings such as assemblies or excursions outside the school. We take this very seriously and we are implementing this across the school. We're also, within classes, encouraging students to keep the social distance required as practical as possible, that is, in a classroom environment. Our students love participating in their sport and activities outside school. These are almost all cancelled, and we see that as having a huge impact on their well-being. What we want to do is put in place in school activities that replace their soccer games on Saturday, that replace their netball practice on a Thursday night, that replace other activities that they love to have on the weekend. These are gone from their lives. We will do this at school to ensure they get the physical outlet they need. We will also increase the number of PE group sessions across the school, before and after school. We will be increasing the lunch breaks to enable students to run around and release their energy more. We want to have an impact in this area because we see this as critical to their health, to their overall mental well-being. The physical activity will assist them and help them in this aspect. I understand the need for the clubs and organisations around the Northern Territory to do what they've done. We can operate on a much smaller scale in school to help and assist your children with this outlet. Well, the first place for the latest updates is, of course, your news channel and the radio. The government is being more proactive of late in terms of informing us of what we need to do as a society. So all parents and their families must keep abreast of the authorities with regard to that. At Essington, we are acting on that advice, and we are putting up what impact that advice will have on us as a school. We'll encourage you to look on our website to see what the latest advice is in terms of the government, how that impacts on Essington. We will change that as regularly as we can in terms of making sure that the safety and the well-being of your children is being looked after. In conclusion, I want to give you this message to assure you that we are doing everything we can to look after your children. As a school, we're tasked with an enormous responsibility, and this responsibility over the last few weeks and in the coming months has been increased enormously. However, rest assured, we understand that small measures go a long way to protecting your child. The safety and well-being is our prerogative, and we'll ensure that that's the case. We understand families are facing real difficulties at this time. There are many, many families who now may not have work in the manner that they were. We have many families who are fighting this virus on the front line as they are health authorities and they are working in the health industry. We want to support and help them equally. We have valued the advice they give us, and we ask you to continue to bring that advice to us. Together, we must form a group, a community, which is tasked with the priority of protecting everyone here and working together, because we have not faced anything like this before, but together we can overcome this. And together, I need the support of everyone in the community to do their best and to do their bit to help make sure that we function as a school and as a safe community for your children.